These weakest and meekest will become the most powerful influences on earth, and those who exercise them the most powerful people, and they will rule the world with both love and a rod of iron of loving force to compel the nations to submit to the laws of God, and to recognize his authority, and to obey his rules of life, love, health, and happiness for a reign of peace on earth toward men of good will. But there will be retribution toward those who rebel, when righteousness shall cover the earth as the waters cover the seas, and the word of the Lord shall come forth from the government of God through his people, and no man shall need say, Know the Lord, for all shall know him. This is what the new world will be like. For the old heavens and the old earth shall be passed away, and all things will be made new. And there shall be no more sea. That's a shocker. And there shall be nothing that shall either hurt or destroy or pollute in all my holy mountain, kingdom. There shall be no more evil in all God's kingdom on earth, only a heaven on earth ruled by the Lord and his children from the heavenly city, which will come down from God from outer space to rule the earth. Having overruled all of the other questions, we finally got to the devil's usual last resort. So, if there is a God, where did he come from? Who made him? And when and where and how long has he been in existence? Well, the best answer I could tell her on that one was that if you knew the answer to that question, then you'd be God, wouldn't you? And you'd know as much as God knows, which you don't need to know. God simply says that he has always been. He is the great I Am, who lives in the eternal now, where there is no past nor future, and time shall be no more, as Einstein proved. But we must accept these truths, just as many people who don't understand Einstein's theories still accept them, because they work. Relativity, E equals mc squared, and that any matter traveling with the speed of light would dwindle to nothing but a black hole in space where time did not exist. Most people do not understand these scientific realities, but still have to accept them just because the scientists say so, and because they work, and they can feel the effects of these forces as demonstrated daily in our daily lives. They have been proven by the splitting of the atom and nuclear fission and fusion, which give us both the creative and destructive capabilities of nuclear power. We use the power of electricity in our everyday lives, even though no one really understands it, not even the scientists. They only know its laws, its actions, its effects, and have learned how to channel and conduct it to serve many useful purposes upon which our daily living is dependent. Even so, we must accept the very existence of God, even though we don't know where he came from, or who made him, if anyone, or how he got here, or where he came from. We simply know he does exist, and he is here, ever-present, all-knowing, and all-powerful, omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. We must recognize his superiority and his authority, and thank him for his power and his creation that he has created, and the rules which he has made by which it is governed. We must accept and obey and use these rules and his power for our own benefit and usefulness and life, love, health, and happiness in everyday living, just as you use electricity, even though you don't understand it fully, or know where it came from, or how it got here, and you may not even understand how it works. All you know is, it works. You flip the switch and make the connection, and it works. You make contact with the power of electricity, and it does the work for you. Just so, you must learn to make contact, personal contact, with the power of God, and learn to let Him do the work of bringing you joy, health, and happiness in everyday living, and of being useful in your life and giving you faith and rest and comfort and peace, instead of fear and restlessness and worry and war. You must learn how to contact His power through prayer, a spiritual seeking of contact with His Spirit through obedience to the laws of His Word, to listen to His voice. Just as you flip the switch of your radio and tune in to a certain frequency, so you must communicate with Him and let Him speak to you through His Word, both through the Bible and by the direct communication of prayer. Learn His will and know what and how to obey in order to let His light and power into the room of your life, to give you light and power and joy in living by doing many things for you you cannot do for yourself, just as electricity does through the simple flip of a switch or the turning of a dial. We must avail ourselves of God, just as we do the electricity which gives us light and power and fuel and fire and heat and communication and transportation and all these modern marvels of modern man which we use in our daily living, even though most of us haven't the least idea of where it comes from or how it got here or who made it, and most of us still don't even understand how it works or the laws which govern it, and certainly none of us has ever seen it. Only its effects. Only a few of us are electricians who know how to wire houses and bring it into our lives and the lives and homes of others. And only a very, very, very few are electrical engineers who know how to design, engineer, create and manufacture new uses and new applications, new utilities and new appliances and new electrical gadgets to simplify and make happier and easier our everyday living. Just so, there are very few men and women of God who are prophets and wise and powerful engineers led by God to design new uses and new directions of His power to improve our lot in the present and guide our course for the future, to bring us greater happiness and joy and spiritual awareness of the unlimited usefulness of the power of God in our daily lives. Just so, only some are electricians who know how electricity works, or in this case, how God's power works, and the laws which govern it, and who know how to wire it into your daily life and connect you with His mains from His powerhouse, so His power can flow through you too, your body, the home in which you live, to serve you and make your life happier and easier and restore your energy and work for you, regenerate you, and constantly, continually replenish that which is used up. As God's engineers are His prophets, leaders, and the great men of God, so His electricians are those who pass on this power, the knowledge of this leadership, and teach others how to connect to it and how to use it safely in their daily lives. These are the witnesses of His who help to wire you or rewire you so that your connection is correct with the power above. Be sure you're not shorted out by the groundings of the devil's diabolical underground forces, seeking to destroy and short-circuit so that the power shocks, kills, burns, devours, and destroys all which come in contact with it. All of this is happening daily in the life of the Spirit. God's power is creating and blessing your daily life and helping make easier the task of daily living, enlightening the rooms of your heart and mind, cooking the nourishment of your spiritual body, the food for your soul, and warming the hearthstones of your heart. Or the devil is short-circuiting you, electrocuting you, shocking you, burning you, terrifying you, frightening you, filling you full of his fearful cross-circuits and contrary connections and opposing negative flows to upset you and irritate you, causing showers of flaming sparks and crackling static to ruin your communication and connection with God, confuse your mind, upset your heart, and burn and destroy your body, the house in which you live. So, you must be sure that you have the right power source and are connected to it properly, receiving the right amounts, the proper voltage, at the proper amperage, on the correct circuits, insulated by God's truth against the dangerous groundings of the devil's lies, in order that you might safely use such spiritual power for good in your daily life. Otherwise, a connection to the wrong source on the wrong circuits, without proper insulation and with faulty contacts or short circuits and explosive groundings, can ruin your life, wreck your health, and destroy your soul. God exists, you may be sure, just like electricity exists, though you don't really know who made either, or where either came from, or how either got here, or really understand what either of these great forces is composed of. All we know is they exist, and if properly contacted, channeled, and used properly and safely in the right amounts and the right places at the right times, both of these great powers can do us a great deal of good, even if we don't fully understand or comprehend them. All we have to know is to trust the engineers and the electricians enough to have faith in the power, so that we're willing to make the connection that lets it into our daily lives by receiving it, by taking that definite step of faith in reaching out our hand of faith and turning the switch of decision which makes the contact and starts the flow of that power into our lives to light, guide, warm, feed, provide, protect, work for us, give us pleasure, and even entertainment. It's just that simple. You don't have to personally know all the answers, the whys and wherefores, or be able to explain everything or answer all the questions. All you have to know is you can flip the switch and it works. And that's all you ever need to know, unless you want to be an electrician to help bring this power into the lives of others, or one of those rare engineers who designs, creates, manufactures, and guides the uses of such power. You certainly don't have to know where it came from, or who made it, or how it got here, or how long it's existed, or what its nature is, or try to explain it, just in order to use it. All you have to know is it's here, and that it's obvious it's here because it works. And you can prove that it works by the simple little decision of switching onto it and trying it to see that it works. You don't have to take my word for it or anybody else's. Try it. You'll like it. Just flip the switch of decision by your own human will and let the light in and see how quickly the darkness flees. See how fast it can warm your heart and nourish your soul and make life easier, more pleasant, more entertaining, and even lift you to heavenly heights of joy, bliss, and the ecstasy of utter, sheer, unadulterated, total happiness by the ecstatic elevators of the energies and orgasms of his electrifying spirit on such trips as you have never known before. He's more than sex, drugs, meditation, demonism, or witchcraft. God's power is the mightiest of all, beyond anything you have ever experienced before. Try it. You'll love it. Just be sure to read the instructions before you plug in your various appliances and flip their switches so you don't get any shorted or overloaded circuits or cause any burnt-out wiring or dangerous wildfires. Read his word and the writings of his prophets as to the correct appliances for the power and its proper uses. Begin to enjoy yourself and a life filled with the power of God at every turning of the dials and connections of the switches of prayer and communication and contact with the source. It's just that simple. You don't have to understand him. Just know him. You don't have to know where he came from. Just meet him. He's like a lover. You don't have to know his entire past history and his mental, psychological, physical, medical, historical, political, and religious records. You don't even have to know his exact height, weight, measurements, metabolism, or chemical constituency. All you know is one look and he turns you on. One touch and you melt. One kiss and you're gone. One embrace and you're laid. One thrust and you're made. You've let that loving man in, and he really sends you. And all you want to do is go, 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 until you explode. All you know is it works and you like it. In fact, you love it. In fact, you're crazy about it, wild about it, mad about it. He really blows your mind, flips your lid, gets through to you and sends you, and he's all you want from now on. He's your whole bag and hang-up, and you're really onto him. He really does it for you, and you like it, and you love him, and that's all you care or care about. What else matters? He brings you love, he makes your life, and gives you happiness, and all you ever wanted, and more. You don't even need to know his name, but it's Jesus. And that's only so you can let the world know who you belong to, who your lover is, and whose your children are. You don't know why, but just to look at him turns you on. You can't explain why his touch electrifies you. You don't understand all the scientific workings of his love-making, and why it makes you so happy. You just enjoy it, and him, and you're happy. What else matters? How much more could you want than this? Forget trying to explain it. Quit trying to understand it. Stop trying to diagnose it and take it all apart and analyze it. You're just making hard work out of all the fun. Just turn it on and enjoy it. Flip out and have a ball with him. He's your electricity. He's what turns you on. He's what gives you such a charge. You don't care who he is or what he is or where he came from, as long as he keeps loving you like this and makes you so happy and takes such good care of you. As long as it works, that's all that matters. As long as he makes you feel so good and stay so happy, that's what counts. Don't try to figure him out. Just let him in. Try him. You'll love him. He works. And that's